The Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination, was one of the most ambitious and visually stunning exhibitions ever organized by the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. Curated by Andrew Bolton in 2018, it explored the complex and deeply intertwined relationship between Catholicism and fashion. The exhibition featured over 150 garments and accessories, ranging from sacred vestments from the Vatican to haute couture pieces inspired by religious iconography. It was divided into two main sections, one housed in the Met's Anna Wintour Costume Center, where genuine papal garments and treasures were displayed, and another set in the museum's medieval galleries and the cloisters, where contemporary fashion pieces drew connections between the sacred and the secular. By placing modern haute couture creations alongside centuries-old religious artifacts, the exhibition highlighted the enduring power of Catholic imagery in fashion. The influence of Catholicism on clothing extends far beyond the exhibition's modern interpretations. The history of Catholic dress is deeply rooted in centuries of tradition, dating back to the early Christian era. In the first centuries of Christianity, there was no distinct Catholic fashion. Early Christians typically wore the same garments as their Roman contemporaries, including tunics and cloaks. However, after Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity in 313 AD with the Edict of Milan, the Church began to develop a distinct visual identity. The adoption of ceremonial dress was influenced by Roman imperial and senatorial garments, signaling the growing power and authority of the Church. By the Middle Ages, Catholic vestments had become rich with symbolism and elaborate decoration. Each piece of clerical attire carried a specific meaning. The alb, a long white tunic, symbolized purity, while the chasuble, an ornate outer robe, represented the yoke of Christ. The cope, a semicircular cloak, was often embroidered with biblical scenes and worn during solemn processions, and the mitre, the pointed headdress of bishops, came to signify their spiritual authority. Gold thread embroidery, intricate lacework, and jewel-encrusted fabrics became common, reinforcing the idea that the Church's garments should reflect the majesty of God's kingdom. The Renaissance and Baroque periods marked an era of unparalleled opulence in Catholic fashion. During the 15th and 16th centuries, the Church was one of the wealthiest institutions in Europe, and its garments reflected this status. The influence of Renaissance art, with its emphasis on grandeur and divine beauty, extended to clerical attire. Pope Leo X, 1513 to 1521, a member of the powerful Medici family, was known for his lavish vestments, embroidered with gold and adorned with pearls. The Counter-Reformation of the 16th century reinforced the idea that the Church's visual splendor should serve as a testament to its power. This was especially evident in the vestments worn by clergy during elaborate Catholic ceremonies, which often featured gold brocades, velvets, and intricate metallic embroidery. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the Catholic Church continued to embrace extravagant dress, mirroring the artistic movements of the time. The Baroque and Rococo periods saw even more ornate vestments with floral motifs, lace embellishments, and silk fabrics woven in France and Italy. The vestments of Pope Clement XI, 1700-1721, and Pope Pius VI, the 1775-1799, were among the most luxurious ever created, featuring gold thread embroidery so elaborate that some took years to complete. The influence of Catholic fashion extended beyond the clergy. European royalty often commissioned garments inspired by religious vestments, reinforcing the close ties between monarchy and church. By the 19th century, Catholic vestments underwent another transformation. The rise of the Gothic revival, which sought to restore medieval aesthetics, led to a renewed interest in traditional liturgical garments. Pope Pius IX, 1846 to 1878, the longest-serving pope in history, championed a return to medieval-style vestments, favoring deep red and gold designs reminiscent of the 13th and 14th centuries. The 19th century also saw the rise of Marian devotion, which influenced fashion through the widespread use of blue and white, colors associated with the Virgin Mary. The 20th century brought both continuity and change to Catholic fashion. The Vatican remained a major patron of textile artistry, commissioning elaborate vestments for papal ceremonies. Pope Pius XII, 1939 to 1958, and Pope John XXIII, 1958 to 1963, were often seen in magnificent robes, featuring rich embroidery and delicate lace. However, the Second Vatican Council, 1962 to 1965, introduced reforms that simplified clerical dress. Some of the most ornate vestments were set aside in favor of more modest designs, reflecting a shift toward accessibility and humility within the Church. Despite these changes, Catholic imagery continued to inspire fashion in the secular world. Hollywood embraced Catholic aesthetics, using religious imagery to create a sense of drama and mystique. Films like The Song of Bernadette, 1943, and The Nun's Story, 1959, romanticized religious dress, while later works like The Sound of Music, 1965, and The Godfather, 1972, used Catholic imagery to evoke tradition and authority. More controversially, Madonna's Like a Prayer, 1989, music video blended Catholic iconography with themes of sexuality and race, sparking both admiration and outrage. Fashion designers, too, continued to draw inspiration from Catholicism. Valentino, known for his ethereal designs, often incorporated angelic white lace reminiscent of papal vestments. Dolce and Gabbana, perhaps the most consistent in their use of Catholic iconography, have repeatedly drawn upon Sicilian religious traditions, incorporating golden mosaics of saints and the Virgin Mary into their designs. Jean Paul Gaultier has also played with Catholic themes, famously creating a bejeweled cross corset that reinterpreted sacred symbols through a sensual lens. The Heavenly Bodies exhibition demonstrated that Catholic fashion is not confined to history. It remains a powerful source of inspiration for contemporary aesthetics. The placement of sacred vestments alongside modern haute couture pieces blurred the lines between devotion and artistic expression, highlighting how deeply embedded Catholic iconography is in the cultural imagination. The record-breaking 1.6 million visitors to the exhibition proved that the intersection of faith and fashion continues to captivate audiences, bridging the worlds of religion, artistry, and self-expression.